to Pete and Hannah's Watch List. I'm your host, Pete Mitchell. I'm here with my great co-host, Hannah!
Hello, people.
Hannah, we're here today for What's Next, the show where we help you figure out what to watch next.
Yeah.
On today's show, we are going to take a look at Garfield.
We're
also going to take a look at some of our favourite movies of this year.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Second chance movies, you know.
We're halfway through the year,
Yeah.
so it's a good chance. But before we begin, let us tell the viewers and the listeners what they should do.
Pretty please leave a like and subscribe to the channels. Leave a comment down below any of your feedback, what movies you're seeing, what movies you'd like to see, have us review, you know, all that jazz.
Hit the notification button and you'll get great content like this one, including We Interrupt Regular Programming, where I took a look at the latest episode of Dark Matter, but also previewed Acolyte, also previewed The Boys, also previewed House of the Dragon.
Very exciting.
Also previewed The Bear.
The Bear.
Oh man, how good. TV's good, and then it dries up. But it's going to be good for the next couple of weeks.
Let's just say as movies have dried up, but we're getting some of the biggest movies this year.
This week, we're going to have Bad Boys.
And The Watchers.
We're going to have The Watcher. We're also going to have
Hitman on Netflix.
Yeah, and we're also going to have a Jessica Chastain movie about the mothers.
Of course.
Oh, good. So, it's going to be a big show next week. Also, this weekend, movie draft. Year 2000.
Year 2000, yeah.
We're watching Year 2000 movies. Loving it. Recapped Perfect Storm on the channel today. Love it.
Yeah. It's an emotional movie. Yeah.
It's going to be a good draft. So, looking forward to that. That's this Saturday. Live stream, 3 o'clock.
Australian
Standard Time.
Yeah.
And then, but it'll be also available on podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Good times.
Let us get on to today's show. But before we do that, championship belt holder for you.
It is the movie Challenges.
For me, it is Civil War.
Yeah.
Garfield. Let's get into it.
Meow. Yes.
Opened. Been successful?
Yes.
Yeah, it has. It
has. Yes.
It was...
it had a better second opening week. Yeah.
Only cost $60 million to make. That's a positive.
That's a positive for them.
Sony Studios.
I think the boomers made their money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stars Chris Pratt as Garfield.
Yeah, of course.
Samuel Jackson as Vic, who is Garfield's father.
His papa.
Hannah Waddington as Jinx. She's a baddie. Vin Rhames as Otto.
Yep.
Nicholas Hoult as John. I don't know what he's doing with his voice in this movie, but
I think he's voice acting.
it's a choice.
It's tried.
Cecily Strong, Harvey Gulligan, Brett Goldstein, wherever Hannah Waddington is, Brett Goldstein needs to be.
Not far.
Snoop Dogg, the great Angus Cloud.
Yeah.
So good cast. Makers of this, Mark Dindal, who did Chicken Little.
Yeah.
And The Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, big fan.
Big fan
But
of that one.
also, you know, some say movies that didn't do too well as well.
The writers of this did TV shows like Late Bloomer, The George Lopez Show, stuff like that. So, where do we find it? We find Garfield finding a new home with John at the start.
Yeah, like an origin movie.
And then
kind of story.
He's living an idyllic lifestyle with John and also Odie, and then they get kidnapped.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it's because of past crimes that his dad's committed.
Yep.
And then it goes from there. This movie has great elements in it. It's basically Mission Impossible with a cat.
Yes, because they make heavy references to Tom Cruise, not once but twice.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Also, the theme tune for Mission Impossible.
And this movie...
Vin Rhames is in it.
Yeah, it's the building blocks of, like, every, I guess, generic kids animated film at this moment.
It has
especially since the fact that this year we also get Despicable Me 4, which is another heist animated feature movie.
We also get, like, in this, a high voltage pop song at the end, sung by Keith Urban.
Yeah.
With rapping from Snoop
Dogg. Yes.
Yeah.
Which,
what a twosome.
by the way,
never had that on my
Snoop Dogg
card.
does not play a doggy dog in this.
Yeah,
he is a cat
That's weird.
with an eye patch. I think it's a bit
Hannah,
lost opportunity.
what are your thoughts on Garfield as a character?
Garfield has always been like Garfield is not a likable person.
Yeah,
because he's almost like the average like our introvert, where, you know, we don't like certain days and we're sarcastic in our nature. And
are you talking about yourself?
Yeah. I've started thinking about it, besides the humour, me and Garfield, I'm not a fan of lasagna, and Mondays, I don't mind them. But
you're a fan of Mission Mondays.
Mission Mondays. No, for Garfield's always been, like, he is a central, like, it's all about me type of character. And so you have Odie, who kind of is, like, the happy-go-lucky dog who is, like, the total opposite, who's just there to help, you know. And
Bill Murray's your Garfield, isn't he?
Yeah, so the live-action Garfield, which had 2 films, Bill Murray, you know, he's not the most liked person, but he's funny, and I think that works with Garfield. You know, you don't have to be the most likable person.
Well, 2004 and 2006, and the second one was called Garfield 2. Tale Kitties. Which is a mixture of, like, animation and live action.
Yeah, so, and that original movie, it was more of, think like Toy Story, whereas Odie comes in and wrecks the place, and so Garfield tries to sabotage. In this one, Garfield just doesn't want to help his dad. Like, he has daddy issues. Yeah. And this movie is very, like, safe in every sense of the word. Like, it doesn't try to be virtually different to any other kids movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, sure.
It is the safest thing. Like, you know, his dad comes back and they need to perform a heist together, and they just need to not do this. But Garfield is not an outdoor cat.
These,
so
type of things where the dad abandons the son and all that, like,
But then you find out
it was not American Dad. You know, there's not heaps of movies like this as well.
And also, like, and then there's always the backstory of, like, oh, it wasn't like that, you know, kind of stuff. I will say this film. Yeah, so it's being a generic kids movie, which all the pressure points. But, yeah, they have the generic pop song at the end, which is fine. But the rest of the movie is a void without a soundtrack.
They definitely skimped on it.
Like,
except for the Mission Impossible
like,
thing.
Look at the Sing movies that Illumination do. Yeah. They are just, you know...
the Despicable Me movies that you brought up before, they just pump the
They pump music that's from, like, 80s and 90s and the 2000s.
What was the one that we got towards the end of last year? Migration. That was a heap.
Migration also does it too.
Pop music.
And you need it because, like, you know, like, everyone enjoys a bit of, like, music they've heard before or something, like a good song. Especially in the movie, doesn't have that much, I would say, emotion. Like, it doesn't really delve too deep. But there is, like, an emotional moment with Garfield and his dad, and it has no, like, real good soundtrack. Like, I don't know, you were saying, like, where's the Cat Stevens or something, like, where...
Cat Stevens!
Like, it would have been... Like, if you paid, like, cat artists...
Or the Cats in the Cradle.
Or, like, maybe some Doja Cat. Like, you get every cat artist, but you have Snoop Dogg. Who's the dog?
The Cat Empire.
Snoop Dogg!
Yeah, come on, son.
No, it's a safe movie... Like, a kid, maybe if they love cats, would enjoy. I think if you love cats, there's, like, just a... Yeah. And his humour, I find it's odd because it is more of a, like, a sarcastic humour. I don't think young kids, it might fly over them. Yeah. It's, even when I watched the original Garfield, like, a lot of that humour sometimes flew above.
Kids are going to get confused that Chris Pratt's playing Super Mario and he's playing Garfield? No,
because Chris Pratt... At least with Mario, he tried to do a little bit of voice. This is just
Chris Pratt.
This is just Chris Pratt. Yeah, everyone's just doing their voice.
On Parks and Rec.
Everyone's just doing their voice.
Yeah. Should you watch this movie?
I would personally give this a miss.
At the cinemas or just?
Yeah, because as a streaming movie, this eats it up. Kids would eat it up. Yeah.
This will be on Netflix in a couple of months. I reckon it'll be number one.
It's a very chill, like, kids movie to put on.
What would you give it as a rating?
I played on my phone. Maybe less.
I reckon it's a good call. I enjoy this movie. It was funny in parts, but it did lose my attention, and I played on my phone a little bit, so I'll be honest with that.
I didn't really find it funny. I just found it just...
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of dad humour.
No, I like dad humour. Yeah, humour is more of that sarcastic humour that just doesn't... It's playing it way too safe to be enjoyable.
I'll tell you a funny thing, speaking of dad humour. Someone said that I was your father.
Luke, I'm your father.
No, that's weird.
Well, that is weird. No.
Yeah, no. They're on my list. They're on
the list. They just made that list.
Just made the list.
Hey, you just made the list.
Sister, not daughter.
Sister. Sister.
Okay, so
we only had one movie released in Australia last week. It was Garfield.
Yeah.
We haven't had any film festivals or anything. But Sydney Film Fest starting next week, but we're busy with
we're
work,
waiting.
So we can't get to go, which is a bit of a shame. But I thought we'd take a look back at some of the movies. We went and saw 2 movies this week. One was Civil War, and the other was Fall Guy. Well, let's talk about Fall Guy first.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't a successful movie. It's already on VOD.
Damn.
But I don't know if it's because I've searched for tickets for Fall Guy, but my feed on TikTok is just all Fall Guy clips.
Mine is too. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened. I know.
And I'm there for it.
Yeah, I think it's a little... We're come to...
out and people saw it and then they can clip it.
A little too late to the party, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I will say, because it's on VOD, now people are getting, like, nice clips so they can clip up the movie and do nice cuts. It. Yeah, because they're saying... Because
this movie's actually good.
Gosling was, like when people saw him earlier this year do the I'm Just Ken.
Yeah.
Like, people were like, this is the guy. But are they going to, like, get out of it? Like... Most people see, like, 1 or 2 movies a year. And I think Fall Guy is just not one of those movies you make the trip for. I know there's only...
They're saving for...
They're saving for Deadpool and Wolverine.
And I think the other movie they're saving for is Wicked.
Wicked or Moana 2, depending if they have kids.
No, Wicked or Joker. People like Joker. They like Joker 1.
Yeah, but I think Joker just hasn't been in the mainstream as much right now.
Yeah, true.
I think... Wicked was, and Wicked still is.
I think Wicked's
Wicked and I would say Moana 2, if it starts, they start showing more off, people are going to be like, oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about Fall Guy, right? So, great soundtrack.
Incredible soundtrack. I love it. Yes, I also love
Good
that.
stunts.
Love it. Love that they have one song they have particularly for the movie that they reuse multiple times.
And they use it with different artists.
Yes.
Like
Youngblood plays the main, but Kiss is the original. And I like that because it's...
Against all odds, Phil Collins.
Yeah.
That banger. Like, I know it's dad music, but it's still good. Still a good song.
Yeah, it works this whole movie. It's...
Great. Yeah, just great humour.
Chemistry.
Great stunts. Chemistry.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt. Always.
I would have, if Valentine's Day between this or Anyone But You, I would have preferred to see Fall Guy.
I read an article saying that if this movie came out in August and performed like the way it did, they would say this movie's a success. It's when it came out. So,
I mean, but it also, like, look at, around the same time, I think Dungeons and Dragons came out last year, and people called...
a little bit earlier.
And people called that a success, even though technically it did the same...
But you know why people call that success? Because everyone thought it was going to suck.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but people thought this was going to be good.
But people also think there's a few movies that people are like, oh, I think it's going to be good, but they're not going to go see. They're just like, I'm waiting for it to come on streaming, or I'm like, like, I'm busy. I don't want to pay out so much money to see a movie if I don't know if it's that good.
If you could re-rank this movie, we gave it a banger, would you re-rank it?
What, like what do you mean?
Review it.
Review it?
Would you go down? Would you go up?
No, it's...
You happy with banger?
Yeah, I'm happy with banger. It would be too presumptuous to give it anything more than that
now. Fall Guy is in Australian cinemas now, and it's still in cinemas all around the world, but you can get it on VOD. Yeah,
it's a real fun watch, very enjoyable, rom-com 100%. And action.
Yeah, it's definite buy on Blu-ray for us.
It's a classic.
Awesome. Next movie I want to talk about is Civil War. We went and saw that again. Hannah, you saw it for the second time. Did it still work for you the second time around?
Yeah, it's still like I still got scared. There are the way this movie is it's very quiet, and then when there's gunfire and stuff, you get shocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew it was gonna happen, and I was like, I still jumped even when I was watching it. I was like, oh.
Like a few people have said, oh, the soundtrack didn't work for me, and I couldn't buy into the characters. Like, there's no one to love on the go. I don't think it was that type of movie. I think it was.
This is closer to an art house.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to be.
Yeah, I thought personally that the relationship between the three older reporters and the younger reporter, I thought the younger photojournalist, I thought it worked for me.
No.
It worked.
It works because, the reluctance, but they're working together kind of thing. But this film, if some people haven't seen it or they just saw the trailer, your first presumption is that this is going to be one of those, Olympus Has Fallen type movies, where it's like a dude bro, our World's End action thing. It's not. It's a very serious, film, mostly about photojournalism, with the backdrop of, war and conflict. And, people...
And they don't even really go into why there's an actual civil war.
And I don't think you need to.
And you don't.
Because the idea is you could put it up against any sort of war, and the fact that journalists put themselves...
Any country in the world.
Yeah.
We've all gone through that sort of...
And journalists put themselves in the most dangerous situations just to capture these photos so that people can talk about it.
Yeah, and people can say, oh, we don't want to do that, we want to learn from it. And so hopefully learn from this.
It's interesting to get into the psyche of a journalist.
So, I still enjoyed this. I still think it's a banger, and it's still my championship on hold for this year.
It's
loved it.
interesting to watch.
It is interesting.
Very tense, but in a good way.
I love the soundtrack as well. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That scene when they're driving through the fire, where they have embers falling down, it's so good. I just love it, and then it looked like it's a country song during that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just works for me.
Just works.
Yeah, it just works. The final taking of Washington DC, just a great scene. And I looked at you, and I'm like, well, get ready, this is gonna be great.
I know.
And it was awesome. That is it for today's show. I thought it was a good chance to look back. Well, we've got a busy couple of weeks coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And, the two favourite movies of ours this year, Fall Guy and Civil War. We also took a look at Garfield. So, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you've seen any of those movies, are we dead wrong about them? We are definitely cheerleaders for cinema and film. It's not all rosy out there. There's going to be some decisions in the next couple of years that they're going to have to make it more affordable to do these movies, like the $500 movies. Like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 2 is probably not going to work, but we're going to be there for it, and we're just going to tell people, if you should see it or not, and then you make up your own mind. That is my lovely co-host Hannah. Tomorrow on the show is movie news, and it's Hannah's turn to clickbait. Don't forget to leave a comment on our candy, popcorn, seats.
Yeah, what your fave cinema experiences.
So next week on Cinema Experience, we're going to do the overall candy sort of situation. God. So who's got the best candy range in the cinemas we go to? So it should be good. Pods might get a mention 500 times on the channel on the episode that week. Don't forget, We Interrupt regular programming is up now. We also have AFI Top 100 this week, and it's Silence of the Lambs. And we have the 2000 draft.
Yes.
3 o'clock this Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings. That was my great co-host, Hannah. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. Love all your feedback. Keep it coming. It's Long Live Cinema, and it's bye for now.
Bye!